Hey everybody, it's me again. We're gonna do some more work on the Peterbilt. We actually got to service it. Needs oil changed, and we'll just do it a once over. Give it a grease job, change the engine oil, check all the levels, and we'll get it ready for the next couple months worth of work. So I usually let it go 20,000 miles between oil changes. And it's a little bit more than that right now. I kind of lost track of it, but it's not bad. I don't use oil, so we'll get to it, and let's get started. So we'll put this here. Actually, I gotta find a place to set the phone so you can see what's going on. So we'll give that a whirl. Kind of a dirty job. This takes 11 gallons of engine oil. Alright, where's another bucket? Oh, right here. Get another bucket ready. Pull this out. Well, while this is draining, usually I put this truck up on ramps so the bucket sits underneath there a better way. But it's kind of, I didn't want to bring my big ramps in. It's just a lot of extra work. But what we do is we're going to change this filter, which is a fuel filter. And here's another fuel filter. The engine oil filter's on the other side. Well, what we're doing is we're going to look at everything here, make sure the belts are okay, and just kind of give everything a once over. You gotta keep an eye on that oil level. So we'll check all the hoses, make sure they're all looking good. This is the air intake. The air comes from these air cleaners, goes through these big pipes over to a turbocharger, which you'll see on the other side. Then it goes through a cooler. This cools the air going in the motor. But check all these lines. We check the belts. Power steering fluid here. This is the steering linkage. Gotta make sure that's tight. I'll have to run a grease gun over it. But we'll do a little once over here. So I'm gonna probably make a bunch of short videos here, and then I'll add it all together. So I gotta keep an eye on this bucket though. All right, I changed the buckets out. As you can see, I got another one here. I got about 4 gallons in that one. I know it's not gonna fill both of these up, but when we're inspecting a truck, we're gonna look at these brakes. These are front brakes. I got me a pointer. We're gonna look at this right here. This is the brake shoe. These drums, we're gonna make sure that there's no cracks in them. These brake shoes, you can see them right along here. They look pretty decent. We're gonna be greasing everything. Here's a grease zerk. There's one over here. This is the drag link. This is the brake chamber. This is what actuates the brakes. Tires, these are brand new, so we don't have to worry about them. We got a grease zerk there, a grease zerk there. We got a bank. They call this a bank of grease zerks. There's 5 grease zerks here, and it's usually for stuff that's tucked up underneath the cab that we can't get to. We're gonna pretty much look for oil leaks or fuel leaks. anything that's really excessive. We don't want, because I'm prone to getting inspected by the Department of Transportation. If they see stuff that they don't like, they can actually put me out of service and make me pay somebody to come and fix it. Yeah, we're just doing a once over here. Lights. We'll check the lights in a little bit. I got a couple on the bumper that ain't working. So, alternator, that's not very old. This belt is good. Here's the other belt. That's in good shape. Turbocharger. Got a little bit of a coolant leak here, but that's not bad. It dries up. So I think I just need to tighten the hose clamps. Windshield washer fluid. I can tell that's empty by the way it's sounding. Coolant level. You can see it in the sight glass, but it's dark. I gotta get a flashlight, but I think I gotta add some. So, shocks. And we'll look at the brakes on this side. And to make sure that they're okay. Like I said, brand new tires. Windshields aren't broke. Probably need to get some new windshield wipers, but they're doing pretty good. So, we'll come and look at everything else. The stacks are fine. All these side lights work. I know that for sure. Fuel tanks are clean. We come back here and look to make sure there's no oil leaking in the wheel seals, which if it was, these brake drums would be covered in oil because it'd leak out. Same thing here. We check brakes, brake shoes, and I ought to get a flashlight here so we can see. Oh, let's see here, so we can see what we're doing. As you can see the brake shoes, and they're pretty good shape, really. I think I did this. Oops. Oh, let's see here. I actually did these brakes not too long ago. So, you can see the lining. They're pretty thick. So, there's the brake shoe lining. Here's the brake shoe itself, the drums. If the wheel seal was leaking, this would be covered in oil. This would be covered in oil. So, differential, short drive shaft. There's all grease zerks for greasing. There's one right there. There's some on that, or there's a grease zerk right there. There's some on that short shaft. Every U-joint's got a grease zerk. And we're gonna look at every single, make sure the mounts, here's the spring mounts here. Make sure they're good and tight. Same thing with that one right there. You got airbags, so I got air ride. That's a rubber airbag. Make sure the fifth wheel is good and nothing broke on that. We're gonna cover this with grease before we're done. The tires, make sure tires look good. These are practically brand new. All the lights, make sure everything's tight. We'll look at this brake drum here in the shoes, same thing. Looks like it's in really good shape. There's no wetness, so there's no oil on that one. As you can see, we have a problem here. This right here is an oil temperature sensor. Here's the wire for it. It is broke. We'll have to replace that. I got one on order. There's one on each axle. It tells me how hot this rear end is for working. So we got to replace that. Look at this brake shoe and drum. It looks good. Same thing with these lights. I'll go turn all the lights on and inspect them. Everything's nice and tight. We know the fifth wheel works because I just unhooked from a trailer. Same thing with inspecting on this side here. No cracks and broken. There's some heat stress in these brake drums, but that's normal. As long as it's not cracked all the way through. I don't know if you can see that or not. I don't know if you can see that. But there's some, let's see here. You can see some cracks there. Those are stress cracks, but they're not cracked all the way through. Those are actually heat cracks. So those are fine. These are slack adjusters. Those will automatically self-adjust to keep the brakes in check. There's 5 or 6 of them on this truck. We got airbag right here. We got another one on the other side. We got the horns. So yeah, tires all look good. Suspension's good. Fifth wheel good. Just needs to be greased. And yeah, we'll crawl underneath here in a little bit, and we'll give it a grease job. I'm gonna go get some oil. Spend some money. All right. These are 2.5 gallon jugs. Here's another gallon. So that's 11 gallons. And then get some of this. This is Lucas oil. This is the stabilizer. This helps keep the truck running nice and smooth, and it's really sticky, gooey oil. Helps lubricate. Little baby chips and ducks. That wasn't good.
Sorry.
You didn't get them, did you?
They didn't register for some reason. They didn't register for some reason. Did you have rewards?
No.
224.66. Did you want your receipt?
Yeah.
Ava, can you go put these back, please? We're not buying dirty today. Thank you.
That wasn't so bad. In and out in less than 4.5 minutes. Go back to this customer. Right on down. Alright, we quick ran to the store. You seen that in a little excerpt. And now we're gonna finish this up. I need to get this oil filter off down here. We're gonna stick this phone in there so you guys can kind of see what's going on. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can probably see that. We gotta get this filter off, which is right there. We'll use a big old filter wrench because it's tight. Shine this light down this way. We'll probably make a little bit of an oil mess, maybe. I don't know. Yep, here comes the oil. Figures. What a mess. Got that filter off, and I have a waste oil furnace here. This burns all my drain oil, and I have heat come out of there, and that's what heats my barn in the winter time. So we'll get a filter here and fill it full of oil. So let's set this down a minute. We'll set this down and put some oil, we'll fill it with some oil. That takes a whole gallon of oil. We'll take it and dump this off. Let's see here. It's easier to put fill the filter with oil. That way when you start the truck right away, it puts oil right into the turbocharger right away so you don't burn the bearings out of it. Otherwise it takes 20-30 seconds for the truck to get oil pressure, and that's just hard on the bearings. So we'll take and dump this entire gallon into this filter, because it'll take 99% of the oil out of this gallon jug in here. There we go. We'll set that on there. We'll take this and go back up here. Stick this up here. This is the tricky part. Trying to get it started one-handed. Oh, there we go. That didn't go so bad. Spin it up and let it come in contact and put a couple poles on it. So that's done. Filter's on. Now we can just go and dump clean oil in it. Alright, now we gotta get the funnel, which is right here. This red funnel. Clean filter, clean funnel. Come over here and put this in here. I already shut that cockpit off, which is down there for draining. I already shut that off, so we don't have to worry about that. We'll stick this funnel in here. So we can start filling it up with oil. I'm gonna find a place to put my camera here so you guys can watch. Better move these buckets. There's my luck. That phone drop in the bucket. That really ruined my day. Alright. This is the sticky stuff. Sticky lubricant. It sticks to everything, bonds to everything. And somehow get it open. There we go. It is really, really gooey. It's like honey. You gotta squeeze it out of the jug. Look how slow it's going. I don't even want to go down in the motor, it's so gooey, but once it runs the cycle through with 11 quarts of oil, it'll loosen up a little bit. Can't even tell it's going down in the funnel. Gooey, gooey, gooey. We'll put 4 of these in the engine. These are 2.5 gallon jugs. Oops, there goes my pointer. So 10 gallons of engine oil plus the 1 gallon in the oil filter already, plus the gallon of this lubricant. So technically 12 gallons of engine oil in here, which being a gallon over is okay. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Especially with this big of a motor. It's got 11 gallons capacity for oil. I run 12. The coolant system is 17 gallons of water. The rear ends each are 5 gallons apiece. So it don't take long to service this truck. It takes harder to get this tin foil off these jugs for safety. sweep the floor when I'm done. Usually takes me a couple hours, change the oil, and grease the truck. I need to wash this truck sometime. I haven't given it a bath all winter long. Being in Michigan and salt on the roads is just kind of a waste of time and money. I got a bucket on the other side that I take and let these jugs drain what little bit's left out of it. That way they're completely empty. I'll do that later though. Got oil in it. Make sure that's back on. I've lost that before. Here's a dipstick. There's also a dipstick holding the phone. You can see where the oil level is up. Over full, but it's fine. It's got to fill the engine when I start it, so it'll be all right. I gotta get another rag. Definitely not a clean job doing this. Oops. Ugh. We'll start this up, let it build some oil pressure in it. That way we can double check the oil. 60 pounds of oil pressure is pretty good for an old truck, although the motor just got rebuilt. So I rebuilt it in June, not quite a year ago, about 10 months ago. So there's the oil level. So it's okay for height. It shows about a half a gallon high right now, so that's fine. So just making sure everything looks okay underneath here. The other day the guy put all new air conditioning parts on and that works. So now we just gotta grease it. So stay tuned. Alright, I got me a cordless grease gun because I got tired of pumping because there's a lot of grease zerks on this truck. So we're gonna grease this truck up and we're gonna start right here. Find all the grease zerk heads and pump and pull. You always got to grease so you got grease coming out of the joints. That way if there's water in it, it'll push the water out. This one's a little harder to get to. Oh, here it is. This one's gonna be harder. Oops. That one's right there. This one's a little bit harder to get in because you gotta feel it. There we go. All right, now on to the other side. There's one down here on each side. Oh, out of grease. All right, new tube of grease in. Might take a little bit to get going. Well, that didn't, there we go. Now it's going. want to take very long. Then we'll grab the light. And now we gotta go underneath the truck. The fun part of this. We got a few grease zerks here and there. So, yeah. We got one up here. And if I had this truck on ramps, I could get underneath here a lot easier, but it's pretty tight. Just gonna do the best I can right now. Trying to feel around for these. Feel around for the grease zerks. Let's see here, where's this one? Okay, there's that one. A lot of grease gotta go in there. Let's see here, we got one right here. Ouch. Ooh. That hurts. Yeah. I squirt grease in here till it starts coming out. That way you know you got enough in it. I'm gonna come up here. We got some more up here. Got this grease zerk there. We got some up here. Oh boy, I can't hardly get underneath this exhaust. I should have put these ramps out. I can't get up there. I'm too fat. I guess I'll just have to get on the floor. Crawl up there. We got a grease zerk right here. That's for the throttle bearing. See up there. There. This is the clutch. This is what has to get replaced every so many thousand miles. I've been able to go 500,000 on my clutches or more. That's the throwout bearing. That moves back and forth to disengage the clutch. That silver part is just the drive shaft. And when you compress this, it'll come back, and that's also the clutch brake. So when you're sitting at a stop sign, you put the clutch in, it will stop the transmission from turning when you're in neutral, so you can put it in gear. So, all right, I gotta get back on my creeper. Because it's easier to roll around on. Wow. Oh boy, getting too old for this. Now when I'm underneath here, usually I do a visual inspection of the frame, hairlines. I need a new holder. I need a new hose holder there. This truck's getting pretty old. It needs a little attention. We'll come out. I'll go in the back. Finish greasing it up in the back. I could do that from the top, I think. Let's put this right here. So I can reach here with the grease gun. Usually I crawl underneath to do it, but I'm gonna get that U-joint right here. To crawl underneath to get the slack adjusters. Can't reach it. This is a slack adjuster. This will automatically, when you push in the brake, it'll apply the brakes. When you release the brakes, it will pull back and it self-adjusts to keep the brakes adjusted properly, because we're only allowed about 3/4 of an inch of play or 3/4 of an inch stroke. If we got more, then it's considered out of adjustment. And if we got more than one axle out, we can be placed out of service. There, I think I got them all greased. I think I got them all greased, I believe. I think so. Now I'll just take a tube of grease and smear it on that fifth wheel. Okay, this is the easiest way to do this. Take a stick and Just smear a bunch of grease on here. That way, turning with the trailer is a lot easier. And it also helps so that the trailer don't bind and cause uneven tire wear. Because if the trailer's bound up going down the road, it will actually pull on the truck sideways and wear out the tires. Not only on the truck, but the trailer. It'll almost act like it wants to dog track. Kind of. So we keep this lubed up so that it keeps working the right way. There, that tube of grease is empty. Nice and greased up. Hope you guys liked the video. I know it's not really in-depth with a lot of the how-to stuff, but that's kind of the gist of it. I can go into further detail later on, and if you got questions, just shoot me a question in the comment section, and go ahead and hit that like button and share it wherever you want. I'm not perfect, but I am self-certified, which is legal by the Department of Transportation and FMCSA. So I do all my own work on my truck. I take full responsibility for it. This truck's got over 3 million miles on it. No, almost 3. 2.8 million miles on it. I've done all the work myself, all the customization. And I'm pretty proud of it. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be doing more in the future. Have a nice day. Thank you for watching. What are you doing? What are you looking at? Looks like you just woke up. There go Butters.